Hi, and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary here in Hudson. If you haven't seen this show before, my name is Arthur Bergeron. My day job is as an elder law attorney at Myrick O'Connell. You may have seen me at doing presentations at the Senior Center. Myrick O'Connell is a multi-specialty firm. There are 70 of us, and so everybody gets to do what they like. And I like elder law. I like it because my clients think I'm young. It really cheers me up. I'm actually going to be and I like it because I identify with my clients. I'm actually turning 72 this month, which I know compared to my friend Jackie Kapopoulos would say, oh, well, you're just a kid, blah, 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 but it's close to where my clients are. So the point of this show, though, is not about elder law. It is about my friends, Frank and Mary. If you've been to my presentations, you know that Frank and Mary's goal in life is to live in their house until they die and be buried in the backyard. And if you're in Hudson and you identify with that, you want to stay right in Hudson. You don't even want to move away with your kids. You don't want to go to Texas. You don't want to go to any place. You want to stay home. So the question for the show is really, who are the people you need to know and what are the programs you need to know about in order to stay right here in Hudson? And for this year, I really decided that for this show, I really want to focus on the many nonprofit organizations that exist here in Hudson who are helping Hudson seniors, Hudson juniors, who are helping Hudson people in a lot of different ways. And I wanted to start off with, I think, the group that helps Hudson seniors the most, and that is the Friends of the Hudson Seniors. And my friend Jackie Kapopoulos, who before she retired was kind enough to be my co-host on this show for quite a while, has also, although she had been the president of the Hudson Seniors and then retired of the Friends group and then retired. And then I heard that she got dragged back in to be the president again. So I wanted to talk to Jackie because I figure she really has a really wonderful perspective on what the Friends of the Hudson Seniors have done and are doing and kind of want to do. So Jackie, thank you very much for doing this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I never retired from being president. I've been president all along, and it's
and all along means how long?
I've probably been doing it now for 4 to 6 years.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, and it's because of the unavailability of other people to kind of want to do it. I do have a new vice president who looks very, very promising to me as someone who could really take over and do a great job. But anyway, I have loved doing it. I love what we're able to contribute to the senior center. I think I would like to really see younger people coming to the senior center. Now, when I say younger, I mean people in their mid-50s. I live in
You mean like people my age?
Your age and younger. Definitely. And, nobody's grilled on their age, So if there was an activity, if you were an early retiree, and an activity looked appealing to you, the Hudson Senior has everything to offer. They from games, cribbage, cards, Monopoly, Scrabble. What do I want to say? There's a couple of other games. They're just slipping my mind. But I mean, the newsletter has all the activities, and you can access the newsletter online or get it mailed to you. If you pay dues, it's $7 a year. If you pay dues, you get the newsletter mailed to you, and that $7 contributes to the mailing costs, which are significant when you're sending out thousands.
Which are really significant. And Jackie, can you just So is the official name the Friends of Hudson Seniors or the Friends of the Hudson Senior Center?
It's the official name is the Friends of the Hudson Senior Center.
Okay.
But we have our own Facebook page that says Friends of the Hudson Seniors. And that was because Friends of the Hudson Senior Center was already taken. So we had to get a new
Yep.
separate identification.
Right.
So that's why. But if you I have an iPhone, but I think most phones come equipped with microphones. If you just say into it, Hudson Senior Center newsletter for January, it'll pop up. You don't even have to search for it. You can just talk into the microphone. But it lists all the activities. So I talked about games, and I talked about there's exercise groups. There's a pool room that really is being underutilized now. We need to get more men and women who like pool to come to the center. And I think that would appeal in many ways to a younger population. We have a library there, and it's well stocked. And the the Hudson Library comes to the senior center and takes orders for books that they'll bring the next week. Of course, you want me to talk about some of the things that we contribute to.
Yeah, and I guess I'd like you to do that, Jackie, because I think one of the themes of all of this is that you really want to, if you're Hudson C, you want to be watching this show, I think, from two perspectives. One is we'd like you to get you to go to the senior center just to walk around. I mean, I do a lot of work at a lot of seniors, so this is one of the most wonderful places I go to, both because it's beautiful. It's just physically beautiful. It's beautiful in a real special way that contributes to Hudson because it's downtown. It's, you can walk to it and it fits in with the downtown, and while it's in an older section, it's got a wonderful parking lot because it's got adequate parking among other things because it's so close to where the railroad tracks were, so there's adequate parking. But it's just really laid out well. I mean, there are conference rooms there. This library, it isn't just a kind of random stack of books. It's this really beautiful space, and it's deceiving because they have a really big space to do programming in the basement, effectively, right? Because the building is sloped so that it faces that pond. And then it's got conference room on the second floor. I know I do legal advice on the second floor, and they also have a doctor that comes in. I always joke with the clients that come in that I'm the only person who can give you legal advice and check your weight at the same time. Check your height, see how you're doing. But I mean, so there's it. I guess I would just encourage you to just kind of go. But I think I wanted also seniors to be understanding if you are looking for a way to help other seniors, right? There may be no better way to help other seniors than to help the Friends of the Senior Center, because it says Friends of the Senior Center, but it's really the Friends of Seniors, because one of the crucial kind of activities that they do at the Senior Center is that they have this terrific, basically social worker outreach team that is constantly talking to just a whole variety of seniors, and help. I've been there as a matter of fact, Janice Long, whom I had tried to lure into coming today just to talk about some of this. Jackie was just talking to her and said she has an emergency. Something has come up that's there. Well, inevitably, that emergency is that there's a senior who came in, who has some kind of problem, and Janice and her team are kind of there to really solve those problems, right? So I want to encourage you to think about the Friends of the Hudson Seniors as really a window into helping the lives of a lot of Hudson seniors. So can you just talk about some of the things that the Friends have contributed to and now contribute to? And then I would like you, as I mentioned before the show, Jackie, I'd like to talk about the history of, well, maybe the senior center itself, how it ended up there, but also the history of the addition or of we'll call the rehab, right? Or whatever you want to call
renovation.
it. The renovation. Yeah. So could you talk about, once again, what the Friends have given? Because I know the Friends have over the years accumulated substantial assets and have used those to support the Hudson Senior Center and the seniors in many wonderful ways.
Well, we have, and you're going back historically. I think it was 12 years ago that, or even more, that the renovation was completed. And that's when I started getting active in the senior center, not the Friends. But I can address what historically the Friends of the Hudson Senior Center bought the original building, bought the building
The
originally.
one that you're in now,
The one we're in now.
I didn't know that.
Yep. They got, how many years ago it was, I don't know, but they got a bank loan and they bought it for $30,000.
Yeah.
And that's where the senior center has been housed ever since then.
Oh, and Jackie, so as an aside, I don't know if you would know that, do you still own it? Do the Friends actually own the senior center? Or at some point did they actually transfer it to the town?
I really can't answer that, but no, we don't own it. I think it got transferred to the town.
Yep. Just curious.
Yeah, we are a separate branch from the senior center, the COA, the Council on Aging, and the senior center has a board, and those people oversee the workings of the senior center.
Mhm.
And we're completely separate from them. They can't tell us how to spend our money or not spend our money. They can make suggestions, and I would say that, we work in a very congenial, cordial relationship. There are very few problems that come up. The COA, the Council on Aging, oversees the senior center as a whole. They work on behalf of the town, and Janice meets with them monthly, and we meet with them if there is something that we want to do that they need to know about and give the okay to. Other than that, we act very independently. Some of the things that we've financed since I've been president is we have bought buses for the senior center. Or if we haven't bought the whole buses, a couple of years ago, we got a Cummings grant. And so whatever payment was needed to cover the buses, we covered the difference. We put in, we have a beautiful garden in the back that was all going to seed because of lack of water, lack of care. We have, we put in an irrigation system. We have bought printers that they use to send out all the newsletters. Many of the programs that Janice runs are run on grants, and sometimes those grants don't cover the longevity of the program. So we contribute to that. She'll come to a Friends meeting and ask us for monies, and so we do that. The different activities at the center, we support the quilting by buying, if they need a new sewing machine, etc. We bought the pool tables, and we dedicated a room to the pool tables. So we subsidize a lot of the programs that Janice runs, and we have always had just a great relationship with her. I think that we want to make the senior center an appealing place for people to go. You talk about people wanting to stay in their homes. If people need services, call the senior center, and the social workers there would be able to assist them in getting those services. I'd like some feedback from the people in the community about what more they would like to see the senior center offer to bring in younger people. The older folks who can't drive anymore, of course, there are the buses that'll go and pick them up take them shopping, take them to the center, take them to doctor's offices. I think the big project that I would like to see completed before my tenure is up is to see our deck enclosed and make it into a discrete game room. With when the center is fully operational, there's no place for them to kind of meet without interruption. And we tried to get this going probably 4 years ago, at least. And we did all the groundwork. We had an architect come in. We had a surveyor come in. We know that the current deck can withstand the weight that is required for it to go forward. And we sent out, we contributed $240,000 and gave it to the town because it needs to be a town project. We can't do it independently. The COA felt strongly that it should be a town project, and that if anything happened, there would be no suing, etc.
Right.
So the
So Jackie, can you just go back to that? So you have already given to the town?
we
Or
have
you
given
still-
the town $240,000.
$240,000
Right,
to get this project done.
right,
And I
and
think,
probably
and did that also finance the drawings and all of that, or is that
yes,
in
that's
addition?
what we have. What has been done? The drawings, the architecture, it's all set to go.
It's all done.
It's
Right.
all done. But now we need to go back out to bid again. And originally, when we went out to bid, it came in over $400,000, which seems astronomically high and is for an enclosure.
Right.
But you have to go with prevailing wages when you work with the town. So it becomes a more expensive project. Well, we thought we were golden because Assabet Valley was going to do the project for us. And then COVID hit. We had all the materials bought. They were in the driveway, in the parking lot, I mean, and we were all set to go, and COVID hit. So all the materials had to go back, and so and they are not going to do the project for us now.
You literally had the stuff,
We had the stuff
on site when COVID hit? I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yes, everything was on site. They had the portalette, they had the trailer that held all of the equipment.
Right.
It was all set to go. And then COVID hit, and that was the end of that. So that's where we are. We're in kind of this la la land right now. We have to go out to bid again. We haven't decided when we're going to do that. And it will be interesting to see what the bids are going to be this time around. Are they going to be higher? Are the materials going to be higher? But I'd like to see us, get a start on that in the spring or the summer, or as soon as this COVID wave is over.
And Jackie, I'll be devil's advocate here, right? So suppose the town goes out and rebids the project, and the project comes in still at a high number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a sense of what would they do then? What would they do then? Because once again, I totally understand, construction, the numbers are the numbers, you put the bid out and you get what the bids that you get, and that's what you get, right?
Well, as you know, we haven't had any fundraisers for 2 years, and those usually bring us in 5,000 to 7,000 each year. And donations are down at the center because of COVID. People aren't coming in. People aren't paying dues because they're reading the the newsletter online. So that's, everything's kind of depleted.
Right.
We were thinking about doing a mass mailing, but I think at this point that's up in the air. Um, so I think the Friends would be willing to put more towards um, the enclosure if it's needed.
Yeah.
But we don't want to deplete all our funds.
Of course.
We
Of course.
want to leave a good chunk of money, or I want to leave a good chunk of money when um, the uh, what do I want to say? When I end my tenure,
Sure.
so that if the printer goes, they can buy another one, or if a bus goes, you know. But again, hopefully starting next October, we'll be able to do a fair and maybe, think of another couple of fundraisers that would bring in a good chunk of money.
Yeah. And Jackie, can you describe again, because I think it's important for people to understand, this is really something that you folks have been thinking about for a long time and actually got the plans for. First of all, is there some place online where people who wanted to see this, the architect's drawing of what this was going to turn into could see it?
There isn't. I'd have to talk with Janice about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And could you
in that,
describe, can you describe again kind of what the space would be and what it would be
well,
used
if you
primarily?
could envision our deck, it won't be a huge room. It'll be a long, narrow room with big windows so that people can still overlook the lake and have a scenic view. Um, and it requires no plumbing. And uh, of course, there'll be electrical work because of the lighting.
Right.
But it's not a huge room. It would allow probably 4 or 5 tables in there for people to play their games and have quiet time. And it wouldn't be a room where people would, if people wanted to go out there and read a book, beautiful environment to go out
Right.
and read a book,
Really beautiful.
or have a book club, and you can have the book club in the library, but you could also have the book club out there where there's a beautiful environment. And in the winter, you get the warmth of the sun in there. I just think it would be because nobody uses the deck. It's too hot out there in the summer, and it's, in the winter, it's non-usable. We
Right.
keep a little chunk of it for cookouts, to keep the grill and have cookouts. But other than that, uh, it would be just a lovely place.
So that's, I really wanted you to describe that, Jackie, and it would be great, if you could, ask Janet if she could get something online so that people could see it, because I really believe you have an extreme, I know that you sometimes bemoan the fact that not enough people use the senior center, but there are a lot of people who do use the senior center. I think, the reputation of the senior center is really positive. And I think for a lot of seniors who use it, right? And who could imagine this space, I would bet that, and I guess this is my appeal to the folks who are watching, this is, and by the way, as Jackie, I think, had mentioned, and as I had mentioned, this is the Friends of the Hudson Senior Center is a 501c3, right? So donations to the Friends are all tax deductible. And as you think about this year as a way, as the senior center comes back to life as a result after this long hiatus because of COVID, trying to imagine that space and just say to yourself, is there something that you could do? Could you support what is really, really a tremendous community effort? And while it is owned by the town, the support for it, as Jackie said, the town didn't buy it. The Friends bought it, right? The
Mhm.
Friends bought it, I am sure, with contributions that they got, and in that, they are not unlike an awful lot of senior centers that have really been supported by the seniors in that community. So I really want you to Jackie, I really appreciate your being on and describing what the Friends do and stuff. And, and I hope you'll be successful this year. And I really want to urge Hudson seniors, as this comes up, if you hear about it, you may really want to think about contributing, because it isn't like you're starting from scratch. There's already $240,000 that's been given, and if it's a matter of making it up in order to get this thing done, this would be a great thing to get done before Jackie retires. I know that Jackie doesn't want to be out pounding the nails and finishing this up before she retires.
Arthur, if I could say, I think it would be a great project. It's a small project, so in some ways it's a hard project to get people to take on. But if some of our local builders could think about doing it, and think about the contribution that they're making to the Hudson Senior and to all the Hudson seniors by, thinking about doing this project, it would be great. It would be, as someone said to me, it would be such a source of pride for them to say that they did this. And so it would be wonderful if a local builder would take this on.
And so we need to the point is that this needs to get done. It needs to get done locally. You're not going to get this done by doing some kind of a special warrant article. No, this is not a lot of money. It just needs to get done. Jackie, those folks need to figure out what the number is, and then the number needs to be paid for. So thank you very, very much, Jackie. Thank you for that background. And as I say, folks, I'm going to try to use these shows during 2022 as a way of featuring, nonprofit projects that you need to be supporting. You need to be supporting as Hudson seniors and as Hudson citizens. Thank you very much. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the next installment of Frank and Mary here in Hudson. Thank you.
Thank you.